Mosul is a city of normally about 2.5 million people in northern Iraq, occupied since 10 June 2014 by the Islamic State Salafi jihadi militant group and therefore a major city in its self-declared caliphate. Mosul is completely governed by the Islamic State group headquartered in al-Raqqa, Syria since the government of Iraq in June 2015 stopped paying salaries which it had previously paid to city workers including nurses, doctors, supply and services workers, road repair workers, waste management workers and other infrastructure roles. Located some 400 kilometers north of Baghdad, the original city stands on the west bank of the Tigris River, opposite the ancient Assyrian city of Nineveh on the east bank. But the metropolitan area has grown to encompass substantial areas on both the left coast and the right coast, as the two banks are described in the local language. In the early 21st century, the majority of Mosul's population was Arab, with Assyrian, Iraqi Turkmen, Yazidis and Kurdish minorities. The city's population grew rapidly around the turn of the millennium and by 2004 was estimated to be 1,846,500. An estimated 500,000 persons fled Mosul in the second half of 2014, and while some returned, more fled in 2015 as ISIL violence in the city worsened. Historically, an important product of the area is Mosul marble and oil. The Islamic State is alleged to be making significant sums of money selling oil and automotive petrol to the inhabitants of Mosul as well as exporting oil products. The demonym for inhabitants of Mosul is Moslura. Many participated in vigilante resistance actions against ISIL and many have been killed for these actions. The city of Mosul is home to the University of Mosul and its renowned medical college, which together was one of the largest educational and research centers in Iraq and the Middle East. The university has since been closed but at the choice of the Islamic State's leadership in Mosul, the medical college remains open but barely functional. Until 2014 the city was a historic center for the Nestorian Christianity of the Assyrians, containing the tombs of several Old Testament prophets such as Jonah, which was destroyed by the Islamic State occupation army in July 2014. Etymology. The name of the city is first mentioned by Xenophon in his expeditionary logs of 401 BC, during the reign of the Persian Achaemenid dynasty in this region. There, he notes a small town of Mepsalah on the Tigris somewhere about where modern Mosul is today. It may be safer to identify Xenophon's Mepsalah with the site of Iski Mosul, or Old Mosul, about 30 kilometers north of modern Mosul, where 6 centuries after Xenophon's report, the Sasanian Persian center of Budh Ardashir was built. Be that as it may, the name Mepsalah is doubtless the root for the modern name. In its current Islamic form and spelling, the term Mosul, or rather, Mosul, stands for the linking point, or loosely, the junction city. In Arabic, Mosul should not be confused with the ancient Assyrian capital of Nineveh, which is located across the Tigris from Mosul on the eastern bank, at the famed archaeological mound of Kuyunjik. This area is better known today as the town of Nebi Yunus and is almost entirely populated by Kurds, which makes it the only fully Kurdish neighborhood in Mosul. The site contains the tomb of the biblical Jonah, as he lived and died there, in the then capital of ancient Assyria. Today, this entire area has been absorbed into the Mosul metropolitan area. The surviving Assyrians refer to the entire city of Mosul as Nineveh. The ancient Nineveh gave its place to Mepsalah after its violent fall to the Babylonians, Medes, and the Iranic Sagashians in 612 BCE. Xenophon makes no mention of Nineveh in 401 BC. Mosul is also named Al-Fihar, Al-Qadra and Al-Hadbar. It is sometimes described as the Pearl of the North and the City of a Million Soldiers.